There's going to be some audience participation. There's going to be a gotcha surprise in the presentation. And you're going to leave with a mantra, a new mantra or a chant about the big idea from this presentation. Performance management, I'm not going to talk a lot about that. We hear about it all the time. We've heard about it in a lot of presentations. Non-financial capitals. I want to give you all the idea that using non-financial capitals can help you tell a better story, can help you focus better as we be better and do better as people tell us we need to do. All right. I'm going to work with this, well, suggest to you this list of 7 capitals that are community capitals. They are assets within the community. We will borrow from financial capital to see how they work. Capital is an accumulation of investments and returns. An accumulation and returns are outcomes, or streams of benefits. All right. Number 2, this is we're getting into performance management now. The times are changing, we know that. There's a tough new normal, we know that. There's a lot of documentation from my EDC research papers. Research partners did a study last year called The New Realities Facing EDOs. It's excellent. ICMA, the people who fund us, dedicated an entire issue of one of their journals to the taxpayers and elected officials wanted to see more payoff from their investment. All right. They talk in terms of success being more elusive and the need to redefine what success is in economic development. Okay. So what are we going to do about it? Well, in the context of this presentation, we're going to focus on outcomes as returns on capital. Say that. Outcomes are returns on capital. Outcomes are returns on capital. There's your mantra. Outcomes are the differences we make, okay? And they drive decisions, and they impact future capital, future flows of capital. Expanding the circle of partners, the former Secretary of Economic Development in Maryland said that the most important thing an economic development agency can do is to be a convener, a collaborator, a facilitator. That is to help the community, to lead the community's interests in improving itself. All right? These capital categories, they're kind of fuzzy. They're amorphous sometimes, they overlap, and they can transform from one into another. Here, economic development is not done in isolation of community development and leadership development. Here are the 7 capitals from earlier, the same way. They overlap. There are assets in each category that are also shared by other categories. They support one another. I've got a few examples here of capitals transforming from one type to another. Here's our typical economic development example. We get funding, we produce jobs, payroll, taxes, and quality of life. 2 of those are financial, but producing jobs is not really a financial outcome. It's really an intermediary outcome that has further outcomes in terms of human capital and social capital and cultural capital. All right? Number 3, brownfields redevelopment has outcomes across an entire array of community capitals. Okay, some can be quantified in terms of financial and some cannot. With the leadership program, this illustrates that with people you get a change, they're going to do something, and returns will come to various capitals. You don't know when they're going to come, so they may be delayed in time and they may be diffused by the time you see an outcome. All right? Metrics and methods. There's a lot of customization. There's no one size fits all. You've got a lot of freedom in terms of how you define them and how to use them, but you can get in trouble too. And that's what these caveats are about. Feel free to be creative, but be careful about what you do with them. All right, there's a lot of examples out there. Here's some action steps. If you want to try this at home, you might decide this is a bunch of hooey, and that's okay. But if you want to try this, if you think we're maybe on the right track with something, then you can try this at home. But remember that Will Rogers said, even if you're on the right track, you get run over if you just sit there. Okay? So do something. Thank you.